What you just heard are not sound effects. They are excerpts from official case files stored here in the nightmare log. Each one represents a breach in our understanding of reality, a moment where the documented and the impossible collided. Tonight, we are opening files related to emergency dispatch recordings. These 7 accounts have been cross-referenced with police reports, eyewitness testimony, and in some cases, evidence that was never meant to be heard by the public. They represent some of the most disturbing and inexplicable calls ever logged by first responders. What you are about to hear is a presentation of the facts as we have found them. Before we begin, ensure you are subscribed to the Nightmare Log and have notifications activated. The stories you are about to witness are not for the faint of heart. They are the heartbreaking, the terrifying, and the truly unexplainable. You won't want to miss what we discover next. Case File NML 911-17, The Man in the Kitchen, October 11th, 2017, 11:34 p.m. The dispatch center in Cedar Springs, a quiet suburban town with a population of just over 20,000, receives a call. The caller is 19-year-old Sarah Elway, a sophomore home from State University on fall break. She is alone in the 2-story colonial house her family has owned for 15 years. Her parents are on a weekend trip to a bed and breakfast 2 counties over. The call is logged as a possible domestic disturbance. The audio is crystal clear, recorded on a Motorola MCC 7500 console. The night is quiet. The only sound on the initial recording is the hum of the refrigerator and the distant, rhythmic ticking of a grandfather clock in the hallway. Dispatcher, 911. What is your emergency? Sarah's voice is a hushed, trembling whisper. She is trying to be quiet. I need help. There's someone in my house. Dispatcher, okay, I need you to stay calm for me. Are you sure? Can you hear them now? Sarah, no, I saw him. I came downstairs for a glass of water. The kitchen light was on. I thought my dad came home early. I saw his back. He was standing at the sink, just looking out the window. Dispatcher, is it possible it is your father? Sarah, a sharp, panicked intake of breath. No, because I just got a text from my mom. They're still at the inn. They're asleep. And the man at the sink, he's wearing my dad's robe. The blue one. But he's too tall. His hair is wrong. The dispatcher instructs Sarah to lock herself in an upstairs room, which she confirms she is already in, her parents' bedroom. She has braced a chair under the door handle. Her breathing is shallow, frantic. The dispatcher keeps her talking, a standard protocol to maintain a connection and gather information. Dispatcher, is the man still in the kitchen? Sarah, I don't know. I can't see from here. The stairs creak so bad, I can't go look. I just ran. Pause. Wait, listen. On the recording, a new sound emerges. Faint, from downstairs. The sound of a cabinet door opening, then closing. A moment of silence. Then another cabinet opens and closes. Sarah, he's looking in the cabinets. Why is he doing that? The sounds continue. Methodical, purposeful. Open, pause, close. Open, pause, close. It moves along the wall of the kitchen. Sarah's whimpers are barely audible over the mundane, terrifyingly domestic noise. Sarah, he's not right. He moves wrong. It's like he's learning how the hinges work. The sound of the cabinet stops. Silence returns for a full 20 seconds. Then, a new sound. Heavy, measured footsteps on the hardwood floor of the foyer. They are not trying to be quiet. They reach the bottom of the stairs. Sarah's whisper is pure, undiluted terror. He's coming up. Oh God, he's coming up the stairs. The footsteps begin to ascend. They are slow, deliberate. Step, creak, step, creak. The dispatcher is now urgently advising her to look for a window to escape from. But Sarah is frozen. Sarah, he's stopping. The footsteps halt on the landing. There is the sound of breathing now, audible even over the line. It is a low, wet, rattling sound, like air being forced through a clogged pipe. Then a voice. It is deep, distorted, and painfully slow, as if each word is a physical effort, a foreign concept being forced into a shape that resembles language. It calls up the stairs. Sarah? Honey? I'm home. Sarah lets out a choked sob. That's not his voice. That is not his voice. The thing on the stairs continues, its tone shifting to a grotesque parody of parental concern. Why are you locked in there? Come out. I made snacks. Police units arrived on scene 4 minutes after the call began. The front door was unlocked. The house was brightly lit. In the kitchen, every single cabinet and drawer was open. On the counter, a plate held a perfectly made peanut butter and jelly sandwich, cut diagonally, the way Sarah's father always made them for her as a child. There was no one else in the house. A search of the premises found no signs of forced entry. Sarah was found in the master bedroom, catatonic from shock. She was hospitalized for 2 weeks. The official police report lists the incident as a possible home invasion and psychological trauma, though no suspect was ever identified. The 911 recording was classified as disturbing but inconclusive. The nightmare log has classified it as a Class 3 imitation event. The entity's purpose remains unknown. Its method of entry and exit remains unexplained. Sarah Elway no longer lives in Cedar Springs and refuses to speak about that night. But a home is not the only sanctuary that can be violated. Our next case takes us from a quiet suburban house to the open road, where a routine drive becomes a desperate flight from something that should not exist. Case file NML 911-84, the red-eyed Dodge. April 3rd, 2019, 2:17 a.m. State Route 87, a long, desolate stretch of highway cutting through the Black Rock Desert of Nevada. The caller is Mark Rinaldi, a 42-year-old long-haul trucker driving a shipment of auto parts from Reno to Las Vegas. He is driving a Peterbilt 389. The call is patched through from the Nevada Highway Patrol dispatch. The audio is slightly compressed, transmitted via satellite, and filled with the constant drone of a diesel engine and the hum of tires on asphalt. Mark's voice is initially calm, seasoned by countless lonely nights on the road. Dispatcher, NHP dispatch. What's your emergency? Mark, yeah, hi. This is probably going to sound crazy, but I need to report a vehicle. A pickup truck. A late model Dodge Ram. Dark color, maybe black or navy blue. Nevada plates, but I couldn't get the number. Dispatcher, what is the vehicle doing, sir? Mark, it's been following me for the last 40 miles. Since the turn-off for Gerlach. It's riding my bumper. I'm in a rig. I'm doing the limit. But this guy, he won't back off. He won't pass. He just stays there. The dispatcher asks if the driver is attempting to communicate or is driving erratically. Mark confirms the truck is driving perfectly straight, mirroring his every speed change. He tries slowing down to 50 miles per hour. The Dodge matches it. He speeds up to 75. It stays precisely 2 car lengths behind him. Mark, it's like he's on a damn string. It's not right. And his lights, Dispatcher, his headlights. Mark, they're too bright. I mean, way too bright. It's like staring into the sun. My mirrors are practically useless. I've got my high beams on, my fog lights, everything, trying to see past the glare, but I can't see the driver. I can't see anything but the outline of the truck and these two blinding white holes. The frustration in his voice is slowly being replaced by a low-grade anxiety. The dispatcher advises him to continue driving and that a unit will be dispatched to intercept. Mark, wait. He's pulling up alongside me. The sound of the engine revs slightly as Mark presumably tries to slow down or speed up to avoid the other vehicle. Mark, no. He's matching my speed. Perfectly. He's right next to my cab. Mark's breathing becomes heavier, more labored. Mark, his window is down. Dispatcher, sir, do not engage with the driver. Just keep your eyes on the road. Mark's voice drops to a horrified whisper. The professional trucker's calm is gone, replaced by raw, primal fear. There's no driver. Dispatcher, repeat that. Mark, there is no one in the truck. The seat is empty. The wheel is turning by itself. I can see it. Oh, Jesus Christ. A new sound emerges on the recording over the engine noise. A low, metallic scraping sound, like something being dragged along the passenger side of his trailer. Mark, now yelling, "What is that? What is that sound? It's right next to me." Then, the Dodge suddenly drops back, falling into its original position directly behind him. The blinding high beams instantly cut out. Mark, panting. His lights, he turned off his lights. Silence for a beat, except for the hum of the road. Mark, no. Not off. Changed. They're not white anymore. They're red. Two solid, glowing red lights. Like eyes. Just two red eyes staring at me out of the dark. Mark Rinaldi began screaming for help. The dispatcher lost the satellite signal 90 seconds later. A Nevada Highway Patrol officer located Mark's truck 17 minutes after that, parked haphazardly on the shoulder of Route 87. Engine still running, driver's side door wide open. Mark Rinaldi was gone. His logbook, wallet, and phone were found on the seat. There were no signs of a struggle. No reports of a dark Dodge Ram were ever filed by any other motorist on that stretch of road that night. The only anomalous evidence was a long, deep scratch mark running the entire length of the trailer's passenger side, scored into the metal as if by a massive, heated claw. The official report lists Mark Rinaldi as a missing person. The case remains open. The 911 recording is considered the primary evidence, though its contents are officially dismissed as the ramblings of a fatigued driver experiencing a highway hypnosis event. The nightmare log has classified it as a phantom vehicle encounter, designation stalker type. The nature and intent of the entity driving the red-eyed Dodge remain unknown. Mark Rinaldi has never been found. Case File NML 911-29, The Static Protocol, February 18, 2021, 3:02 a.m. The call is received by the dispatch center in the remote, mountainous town of Silverwood, population 1,200. The area is known for its harsh winters and patchy radio reception. The caller is identified as Deputy Liam Sawyer, a 5-year veteran of the Silverwood County Sheriff's Department. He is on a routine patrol in his designated vehicle, a Ford Explorer Interceptor, Unit Number 7, David 4. The call does not come through on his police radio, but on his personal cell phone, a fact the dispatcher, Mara, notes with immediate confusion. The audio is initially clear, but carries the faint hiss of a bad connection. Mara, County Dispatch, what is your emergency? Liam's voice is tense, professional, but undercut with a sharp edge of anxiety. Mara, it's Liam. I'm out on Ridge Route, mile marker 23. I need you to run a plate for me. Now. Mara, Liam? Why are you on your cell? Your radio clear. Liam, radio's dead. Nothing but static for the last 10 minutes. Cell service is cutting in and out. Just run the plate. November, Echo, Charlie, 583. The sound of typing. A long pause. Mara, Liam, that's your unit's plate. 7, David, 4. What's going on? Deputy Sawyer does not respond for a long moment. The only sound is the idling of his engine. When he speaks again, his voice is lower, more controlled. The voice of a man forcing himself to remain calm against a rising tide of dread. Liam, copy that. Confirm my location. Is there another unit out here? Mara, negative, Liam. You're the only one on the mountain tonight. What are you seeing? Liam, a vehicle. A Ford Explorer. Interceptor utility. It's parked about 200 yards ahead of me, off the shoulder. Its lights are off. It's just sitting there. It's my exact unit. Same push bar, same light package, same everything. The plate is the same. Mara instructs him to stay in his vehicle, to not approach, and to wait for backup, which is at least 30 minutes away. Liam confirms. The line is silent for a full minute, save for his steady breathing. Then, a new sound emerges. Faint at first, then growing in volume. It is the sound of a police radio, but it is not his. It's coming from outside his vehicle. A dispatcher's voice, distorted and choppy, bleeding through the static. Liam's whisper is sharp. Mara, are you transmitting? Mara, negative, Liam. I have no traffic for you. Your radio is still showing offline. The external radio crackles again. This time, it's a male officer's voice, but it is wrong. The tone is flat, emotionless, and the words are nonsensical. Asterisk, Unit 7, David, 4, report status. The trees are not trees. Confirm. Asterisk. Liam, what the hell was that? That wasn't our channel. That wasn't any channel. The driver's side door of the identical Ford Explorer ahead swings open. Liam's breath hitches. Someone's getting out. A figure steps into the beam of Liam's headlights. It is wearing the exact same Silverwood County Sheriff's uniform. Its posture is stiff, unnatural. It takes a few steps toward his vehicle, its features obscured by the glare. Then, it raises one arm and gestures, a slow, deliberate motion for him to come forward. The external police radio crackles to life once more. The same flat, inhuman voice. Asterisk, Unit 7, David 4. Approach for field inspection. Compliance is mandatory. Asterisk. Liam's professionalism shatters. That's not me. That is not me. Its face. Mara, its face is all wrong. The figure takes another step, its features finally becoming visible in the headlights. The thing wearing his face has no eyes. Just smooth, seamless skin where they should be. Its mouth is stretched into a wide, rigid smile that shows too many teeth. The radio emits a burst of deafening static, and through it, the thing's voice screams directly into his head, bypassing the phone line entirely. You are out of protocol. The phone call dropped seconds later. Backup arrived 32 minutes after the call began. They found Unit 7, David, 4 parked perfectly in the middle of the road, engine running, driver's side window down. Deputy Liam Sawyer was gone. His service weapon was still in its holster, His cell phone was on the passenger seat, and his body camera footage was a solid hour of motionless, black screen accompanied by a high-pitched whine. The only anomaly was the sheriff's department logo on the driver's side door. It appeared to be reversed, as if viewed in a mirror. The official investigation concluded Deputy Sawyer likely experienced a psychological break, abandoned his vehicle, and succumbed to exposure in the wilderness. His body was never recovered. The 911 recording is filed as evidence of his deteriorating mental state. The nightmare log has classified it as a mimicry event, likely a territorial manifestation. The entity's use of law enforcement protocols suggests a frighteningly specific and intelligent form of predation. Deputy Sawyer is listed as missing, presumed dead. The uniform of authority offers no protection from what lies in the dark. And sometimes, the call for help does not come from a victim, but from the darkness itself. Case File NML 911-56, The Birthday Party, September 8, 2020, 4:17 p.m. Sunnydale Gardens Assisted Living Facility, Stockton, California. The call is placed from the front desk landline by Maria Flores, a 28-year-old certified nursing assistant with 4 years of exemplary service. The facility is modern, well-lit, and houses 60 residents. The call is logged as a wellness check. The audio is clear, but crowded with the distant, ambient sounds of the facility. A television playing, a faint PA announcement, the murmur of conversation. Dispatcher, 911. What's your emergency? Maria's voice is polite, slightly embarrassed. Hi, yes. This is going to sound so strange. I'm calling from Sunnydale Gardens on Elm. We have a resident here, Mr. Evans. He's 94, sharp as a tack, but he's a bit of a prankster. He's insisting we call you. Dispatcher, he's asking for police? Is he in distress? Maria, no, nothing like that. He's perfectly fine. He's just insisting. He says it's very important. He won't tell us why. He just says they need to come to the party. She lets out a soft, exasperated laugh. I'm so sorry to bother you. The dispatcher, following procedure, advises that police cannot be dispatched for a non-emergency and suggests Mr. Evans call himself if he has a concern. Maria relays this. In the background, a faint, reedy but firm voice can be heard. Nonsense. Give me that. There is a rustle as the phone is handed over. Mr. Evans's voice is clear, articulate, and devoid of any humor. Young lady, this is Albert Evans. I need an officer to come to Sunnydale Gardens. Immediately. Dispatcher, sir, can you tell me what the problem is? Mr. Evans, the problem is the guests. They weren't on the list. Dispatcher, the list for the party, sir? Mr. Evans, it's my birthday, you see. My family arranged it. My daughter, God bless her, she's right here. But she invited others. Without telling me. They've been here for hours now. They won't leave. His tone is not that of a mischievous old man. It is deadly serious, cold with a fear that seems to sharpen his aged voice. The dispatcher's tone shifts from indulgent to cautious. Dispatcher, sir, are these guests threatening you? Mr. Evans, a long pause. They don't speak. They don't eat the cake. They just stand there and smile. They have such very long arms. In the background, the ambient noise of the facility seems to fade, as if a door has been closed. A new sound emerges. It is the slow, labored sound of dragging, like something heavy being pulled across carpet. It is accompanied by a wet, rhythmic clicking. Mr. Evans's voice drops to a terrified whisper. One of them is coming over now. It's my turn to blow out the candles. The dispatcher urgently asks him to clarify, to put Maria back on the phone. Mr. Evans ignores her. His voice becomes distant, as if he's turned away from the receiver. It is trembling, pleading. No, thank you. I'm quite full. Please. I don't want to. The wet clicking sound gets louder, right next to the receiver now. Then, Mr. Evans's voice returns, but it is different. It is flat, robotic, and utterly hollow. Each word is spoken with a deliberate, unnatural precision. The cake is delicious. A high-pitched, wheezing sound follows, a grotesque imitation of laughter. We are having so much fun. Police were dispatched immediately. They arrived to find the common room of Sunnydale Gardens decorated for a birthday party. Streamers, balloons, a large half-eaten cake on a table. Maria Flores and 11 elderly residents, including Albert Evans, were sitting in a circle of chairs. They were all perfectly still, their eyes wide and unblinking, fixed on the center of the room. They were all smiling the same wide, rigid, unnatural smile. They were catatonic. They did not respond to any stimuli. On the floor, in the center of their circle, was a large, damp, shapeless stain that smelled of ozone and wet earth. Mr. Evans's daughter was found in the kitchen, unconscious. She had no memory of planning a party. She had spoken to her father on the phone that morning to wish him happy birthday. She had not visited. The official report deemed it a mass psychogenic illness, a shared hysterical event triggered by an undetermined environmental factor. The 911 recording was entered into evidence, but its more bizarre elements were attributed to a poor connection and auditory pareidolia. The nightmare log has classified it as a conglomeration event. The nature of the guests and their method of invitation remain unknown. None of the affected residents have ever spoken again. Case file NML 911-12, The Crib Call, November 5th, 2018, 1:15 a.m. The call is received by the dispatch center in the small, coastal town of Seabrook. The caller is Evelyn Shaw, a 33-year-old first-time mother on maternity leave. She lives with her husband, David, in a new-build subdivision. The baby, Chloe, is 7 weeks old. The call is logged as a domestic disturbance. The audio is clear, but Evelyn's voice is thick with exhaustion and a tremor of nascent fear. In the background, the gentle, mechanical melody of a baby mobile plays. Dispatcher, 911. What's your emergency? Evelyn's whisper is frantic, hushed. Hi. Yes, I'm sorry to bother you. I think there might be someone in my house. Dispatcher, okay, ma'am. Can you tell me what you heard or saw? Evelyn, it's my baby monitor. The video one. It's glitching. I was watching Chloe on the screen. She was sleeping, and then the picture, it flickered. And for a second, it wasn't her room. It was a different room. Dark, with stone walls. And there was something in the corner of that room. A pile of rags? Or, I don't know. Dispatcher, it could be an interference issue, ma'am. A baby monitor picking up another signal. Evelyn, that's what I thought. But then the audio came through. From that other place. It was a voice. It was whispering. The dispatcher keeps her on the line, advising her to wake her husband and secure herself in her bedroom. Evelyn confirms her husband is a heavy sleeper and she hasn't woken him yet, afraid to make any noise. She is frozen in the nursery's doorway, staring at the monitor's parent unit in her hand. Evelyn, it's back to normal now. It's showing Chloe's room. She's still asleep. Everything's fine. It must have been a glitch. I'm so sorry. I'm just so tired. She begins to apologize again, ready to hang up, when she stops. Her breath catches. Evelyn, wait. The mobile. Dispatcher, the mobile. Evelyn, it's playing. In the monitor. But I turned it off before I put her down. I always do. The music overstimulates her. I always turn it off. On the recording, the faint, tinny melody of Twinkle, Twinkle, Little Star is indeed audible, emanating from the baby monitor's speaker. But in the real room around Evelyn, there is only silence. The mobile above Chloe's crib is still. Evelyn's voice is a wire of pure panic. It's not off on my end. It's playing on the monitor. It's showing her room, but it's playing the music my mobile isn't playing. The video feed on the parent unit flickers again. A burst of static. Evelyn gasps. It's changing again. It's that other room. The dark room. Her description becomes fractured, terrified. The pile of rags, it's moving. It's uncurling. It's tall. Too tall for the ceiling. It's, oh God, its head is scraping the stones. A new sound comes through the baby monitor's speaker and is picked up by her phone. It is a dry, rustling sound, like old burlap sacks being dragged across a rough floor. And underneath it, a wet, guttural clicking. Then, a voice. It is a grotesque parody of a lullaby, sung in a rasping, multi-tonal whisper that seems to crawl out of the speaker. Hush, little baby, don't say a word. Evelyn screams. Not a loud scream, but a choked, breathy sound of absolute terror. On the monitor screen, the tall, ragged figure turns. It has no face, just a dark, hollow space where a face should be. It raises one long, limb-like appendage and points directly at the camera, directly at her. The voice from the monitor whispers again, closer now, intimate. Mama's gonna show you the upside-down world. At that exact moment, from the real crib in the real room behind Evelyn, 7-week-old Chloe begins to wail. Not a hungry or fussy cry, a scream of pure, unadulterated terror. Evelyn's scream finally woke her husband. Police were on scene within 6 minutes. They found Evelyn catatonic on the nursery floor, the baby monitor shattered against the wall where she had thrown it. David Shaw was holding his screaming daughter. The mobile above the crib was motionless and silent. A forensic analysis of the baby monitor's internal memory found no evidence of a signal interception or a video glitch. The last log data was a continuous, uninterrupted stream of Chloe's room, showing nothing but the sleeping infant until the moment the device was destroyed. The Shaw family moved out of the house 2 weeks later. The official report concluded Mrs. Shaw suffered an acute stress-induced hallucination, a common occurrence in sleep-deprived new parents. The case was closed. The nightmare log has classified it as a signal intrusion event, origin point unknown. The entity's ability to manipulate technology to communicate, and its specific targeting of an infant, suggests a predatory intelligence of a highly disturbing nature. The upside-down world remains an uninvestigated dimension within the log's archives. The connection between a parent and child is the most primal of bonds. But sometimes, the line can be crossed from the other side, and the call is not for help, but an announcement of arrival. Case File NML 911-31, the last broadcast of WZPR. July 23, 1998, 8:14 p.m. The call is not made to a standard 911 dispatch, but patched through to the local sheriff's office from a regional radio station studio line. The caller is Frank Wyatt, the 65-year-old overnight host of Night Sounds with Old Man Wyatt on low-power AM station WZPR 860. The station broadcasts from a converted farmhouse outside the town of Millbridge. The audio is muddied by the hum of vintage tube amplifiers and the faint crackle of vinyl records. Frank's voice, usually a deep, soothing baritone familiar to night shift workers and insomniacs, is shaking. Sheriff's Deputy, Millbridge Sheriff, Deputy Miller. Frank. Yeah. Hi. This is Frank Wyatt out at the Zipper station. I'm on the air right now, so I gotta be quick. I think I've got a trespasser. Or something. Deputy Miller. Something, Frank? What's that mean? Frank. The request line. Line 2. It's been lit up for the past 20 minutes. Nobody's there when I pick up. Just breathing. And then, a minute ago, the music started skipping. Deputy Miller. Probably just a bad phone line, Frank. Kids prank calling. Frank. The record isn't skipping, Dale. The music is skipping. The song coming out of the speakers. It's stuttering. Repeating words. It's still playing, but it's wrong. And the breathing on the phone. It's keeping time with the skip. Deputy Miller, familiar with Frank, humors him and says he'll drive out to take a look. He advises Frank to take the station off the air if he feels unsafe. Frank refuses. He's a consummate professional, and going dead air is the ultimate sin. In the background of the call, the music, a classic big band tune, can indeed be heard. It is smooth for a moment, then it hiccups. A single saxophone note repeats itself, toot, 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 toot. It does this for exactly 4 seconds before the song resumes normally. Frank's voice is a whisper now. Did you hear that? It did it again. And the phone, line 2, is still lit up. The breathing is louder. The deputy tells him to hang up the request line. Frank says he can't. The button is jammed. The light won't go out. The song skips again, this time a vocal line. Me and my shadow, and my shadow, and my shadow. Then, a new sound emerges underneath the music. Faint at first, then unmistakable. It is the sound of a needle dragging across the surface of a record. But the record on the turntable is still spinning perfectly. The dragging sound is coming from the studio's monitor speakers. It is being broadcast. Frank's breathing becomes ragged. Dale, get someone out here now. The dragging sound stops. The big band song cuts out entirely. For 3 seconds, there is dead air. Then, a new sound floods the line. It is a voice, but it is a composite, a horrifying amalgamation of every voice ever broadcast on WZPR. News reporters, old-time preachers, country singers, Frank himself, all layered into one dissonant, roaring choir. It speaks directly into the microphone, its volume distorting the equipment. Franklin, we are on the air. The request line, still active on speaker, erupts. The breathing becomes a cacophony of 100 people gasping and sighing in unison. The monstrous broadcast voice continues, its tone shifting to a mockery of Frank's folksy radio persona. Let's take one more call. Let's see who's listening in the dark tonight. Frank lets out a strangled cry. They're in the hallway. I can see their shadows under the door. They're not. The transmission is swallowed by a wave of deafening, screaming feedback. Underneath the screech, the last thing audible is the sound of the studio door bursting open, followed by the sound of every phone line at WZPR ringing at once. Deputy Miller arrived 12 minutes later. The station's broadcast tower was still transmitting a solid wall of screaming static. The front door of the farmhouse was locked from the inside. When he forced entry, he found the broadcast studio in perfect order. The turntable was off, the needle raised. The phone console was dark, all lines were dead. There was no sign of a struggle. Frank Wyatt was gone. The only thing out of place was the station's master log. The entry for 8:14 p.m. to 8:26 p.m. was not blank. It was filled, line after line, with a single, endlessly repeated phrase: "Caller requested the song that never ends." The official investigation ruled Frank Wyatt's disappearance as suspicious, but without evidence. The bizarre 911 call and the station log were considered unrelated anomalies. The FCC revoked WZPR's license due to the prolonged broadcast of interference. The nightmare log has classified it as an airwave parasite event. The entities appear to be consciousnesses that exist within the radio spectrum, capable of manipulating broadcast technology to interact with our reality. Their need for an audience and their method of taking calls remains a subject of intense study. Frank Wyatt is listed as missing, presumed consumed. 7 calls. 7 fractures in the fabric of a world we believe we understand. A daughter terrorized by a perfect imitation of her father. A trucker pursued by a truck with no driver. A deputy confronted by his own empty uniform. A birthday party attended by smiling, silent guests. A lullaby broadcast from a dark room. A radio host consumed by his own airwaves. And the first call, the origin point, a signal from deep within the earth that used our own wires to announce its awakening. These cases from the log demonstrate that the world is not as safe, nor as rational, as we are led to believe. The truth is often hidden in plain sight, in the places we trust most: our homes, our roads, our places of authority, and even the devices we use to call for help. The most dangerous realization is not that monsters exist, but that they are often cleverer than we are. They learn our patterns. They wear our faces. They use our technology. Trust your instincts. If something feels wrong, it probably is. Check on your neighbors. Believe people when they report the impossible. The most heartbreaking calls are not always the ones that end in tragedy. They are the ones where the truth was ignored until it was too late. The monster is not always at the door. Sometimes, it is the voice on the other end of the line. If you have a case you believe belongs in the log, a first-hand account of the documented impossible, describe it in the comments below. Your testimony could be the key to a future investigation. To ensure you witness our findings, subscribe to the Nightmare Log and hit the notification bell. The archive is vast, and we have only just begun to explore its depths. Stay vigilant. This has been a presentation of the verified case files from the Nightmare Log. Until next time, try to sleep.